early Monday morning. We're heading out here in one of the golf communities that we take care of quite regular. And we're going to be trapping beavers today. So it's going to be hopefully a in and out kind of deal within a week, maybe a week and a half. We'll have to wait and see how the beavers travel around. We got a lot of rain moving in this week. Sometimes that hampers them just a little bit. They don't like that weather at nighttime. We got a very small little parcel we'll be working with. This community is basically a peninsula on the lake. So the beavers have access to quite a bit more property than what we can work, and we just can't get to them where we need to. They're only coming up on this property to eat. So we're going to hopefully get them when they come up for a little midnight snack. So sit tight, follow along. We'll see what we get into here in just a minute when we get to the property. Well, we made it down here to the property where we're going to be working. I'll kind of show you what we got going. We have the access here to the water. And we have where the beaver's been coming through there. So we're going to walk around this edge here. You can see this trail that the beaver has kind of used down here as a little bit, coming up this old drainage here and coming up along this way. And we also got coons that use this trail. As we get up here to the property side, we can see down through here where he's kind of cleaned up this bank a little bit. Let me lay this equipment down. So we have this crawl out right here that's very faint, and then we have right up here he's been chewing. And of course there's other places here, but landowners kind of cleaned it up. We have another stop right here. And this right here is what caught the landowner's attention. Is whenever they chewed this pine tree last week, and they brought it down, and of course he's been chewing on it, and so we just kind of left it to see the cycle, how long it takes him to come around. He cut it down one night, and it took him about 3 days before he come back. So we can see where he's chewed that limb, and then he's dragging his limbs down off the lake bank right here. So this area right here is where we're going to kind of put some sets. We see a good typical crawl out right here where he's been, but according to that he's actually coming over there. So we're going to get this thing set up and show you what it's going to look like. Alright, we have got this beaver job all set up now. We've got 3 traps set. Now again, this ain't ideal beaver trapping area, but we have to work with what we're given. And since the beavers have been coming along this cut bank, coming up, eating the landscape trees, this is what we have to deal with. So right here I found a nice little I guess you would call it a cubby or a cutout here. If I was catfishing, I'd say it's a nice little catfish hole. But got a 330 sitting here. We got our baited stick up here. We got the T-bar and the cabled off. So hopefully we can catch a beaver, maybe two, at this spot. So over here on the other one, we got us 2 other traps. Now these are sitting a little high in the water right now because the water's down. But we got this one sitting right here. And we put one of his chew sticks there for attraction and another little bit of scent on it. And then over here we did the same thing. Again, a little high in the water. But we got it coming up to the cut bank here. And another lure right there to help draw them in. So we're going to get moved on to the next one. We're going to go down now to the sheep farm. This is going to be our last week on that job. Check it for possible coyotes hanging in the fence snares. Then from there we're going to go set up a groundhog job in Vonore. After that, as of right now, all I got to do is go up to Gatlinburg and check out for a beaver, or not beaver, but a honeybee cutout. Well, it'd be bad if you had beavers in your house and I had to cut them out. Whew, I wouldn't want that job. So yes, it's a honeybee cutout in another one of those rental cabins. Hunter's heading to Loudon to exclude and finish up another groundhog job we've been having going on, and possum job. If you recall, that's where the video, we had 2 dead possums under the trailer. We had to remove the carcasses, and then we've been trapping it, removing a couple more possums and a groundhog. We're pretty sure everything's out from under there now, nothing's going back in. So today Hunter is going to exclude it and finish that job up. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of what we were actually doing in a day worth of wildlife control. I'm going to get off here, move on to the next one. We'll talk to you later. Alright, we have left the beaver job. We're now over here on the sheep farm, and I wanted to show you all this before I disturb them any. Now if you recall, we had our big bait station, draw station right here in the center of this big field, and we got the fence perimeter all the way around set up with snares. Now this side of the farm, we don't have no equipment, so all this ground is still free for the coyotes to roam. And the reason being is we got the sheep that are still in here, and we don't want the sheep getting on our equipment any. And so the farmers agreed to give us this field. So out here on this bait station, draw station, we've got all these buzzards that have roosted here last night. Actually, these are the black vultures. They ain't buzzards. So to give you an idea, as I walk out here, they're gonna start flying off. As a trapper, I want to see that on my big bait stations. The reason being is those coyotes, they see that bird activity and they want to investigate. They know if those birds are out there for some reason or another, or flying up there, then there's something here that they might want to try and take from them. So I just wanted to show you that and give you that little tip. That's something you don't see very much or hear very much about, but those birds can be an attraction or attractor to your sets just as much as the bait, the lure, and the urine, or the bones, or whatever else that you try to use as a visual attraction or a smell attraction. Those birds are the same thing. That is a visual attraction to those predators wanting to come investigate. Thought I'd just show you that this morning. Now I'm gonna get on down here and check the rest of this line. Well, we are now at our second golf community. It'll be our third job for this morning, and it's just now 5 till 10. So if that kind of gives you an idea of the way we've been moving right along. We're going on this property, and we're going to be setting up for groundhogs. Groundhogs have been coming up and chewing on this couple's house. They're actually chewing on the door framing, chewing on the porch steps. They live beside of a vacant lot. So we're going to be setting up traps on their property and on the lake property. Now our lake property is owned by the lake, TVA. There is a 100-foot corridor from the water's edge, and so this is public land, and that allows us to be able to trap on that property since it's considered public, and we have state permission. We have permission through the state to be on that land. So hopefully we can catch a few groundhogs this week for them, and you can get an idea of just what a day is like for us. I'm gonna get back off here now and head on into the property more. Alright, I've made it down here to the property. I've got my first trap set. It's a simple 160 down here in the den. I don't know if you can kind of see that very well or not. We got it staked off, or staked down good. We got it wired off. We want to wire these traps off to make sure coyotes don't come along and snatch up our groundhog after it's been caught in the trap. The groundhog's not going to go nowhere as long as the coyote don't come along and grab it up. So that's what the wire's for. Now, to give you an idea of the terrain that we're dealing with, we're down here on the lake. We're on the end of a peninsula. We have a vacant lot that's got kudzu in it. If you've been in the south, you know how bad and nasty these kudzu patches can be. They harbor a lot of wildlife. Groundhogs love them. So there's a couple dens in there we're going to be setting up. Now the rest of this property is well manicured, just like any other golf course community. So this is typical of the way we have to trap. It's not typical for most people, but this is very normal for us. Now, we are going to be setting a lot of equipment out through this property. That's the part that helps us to be able to ensure effective, expedient services for these customers. We're only charging this customer a week's worth of service, so we have to be in and out of here in 7 days with the target animals that they want removed. So a lot of equipment equals good success. So I'm gonna get off here and get back to work. So to give you an idea of what's going on, here's our kudzu coming right up to the yard line. And we come right over here, we can see what we got chewing on these porch risers. Hopefully y'all can see how they've chewed that and chewed it over here. And then you can also see how they're chewing on this door frame. So this is why we call it animal damage control, or wildlife control. When that wildlife starts chewing on your house, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like it neither. I'm gonna get off here and keep setting more equipment. Well, that's got this job all set up. I've got 6 sets put in. I could have used more equipment than that. On a couple of these trails, I could have used some snares probably. But we're just going to run with these 6 for today. I'll bring some more equipment tomorrow. To give you an idea why we want a lot of equipment, right here is a good example. I've got one den entrance here, one den entrance here, and another entrance right here. So if I only brought 2 traps, then this den that I'm probably standing on top of, they could go through the one that didn't have a trap. So at this point, this den area is completely covered with equipment. And these little 160s that Nick Ernie builds, these RBGs, are the perfect thing for groundhogs in my opinion. They fit right down in that hole nice and tight. We don't have to do much digging or altering of the hole. We can just set them traps right down in the spot where they need to be. It's a whole lot better than the square jaws in my opinion. Now it's time to get off here, go back to the shop, drop off the side-by-side and trailer, and head up to Gatlinburg to check out a honeybee call to see if we're going to have to take them out of a house. So keep watching. Hope you're enjoying this day in the life of a professional wildlife control trapper. Well, we made it to Gatlinburg now. And so to kind of give you a time so you can see how much windshield time I've gotten today, it is right now 1 o'clock. So it's taken me about an hour and a half to climb this mountain to get up here. And to give you an idea, up there's the parking area. And so I've had to come down this bank and find the honeybees right here. So now I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a ladder down here and try and halfway set it up without sliding on down the hill. Who said there ain't challenges in wildlife control? So I'm gonna hopefully get a reading on these things to see how bad they are. Maybe you guys can see them flying in and out. We've got a real active hive right here. Of the challenge this job is going to be. You can kind of see how steep it is and how high it is. It's another one of those points I like to say that God did not intend for a house to be sitting on this bank. This is kind of typical of what we find on these jobs when we're doing inspections. Now this is for honeybees, but just going around doing a basic home inspection for wildlife, we can see right here this foundation vent has been chewed into. That is either squirrels or rats that have done that. So just another case in point, well, it's always good to have wildlife control come out and do a home inspection. Alright, I've got inside the crawl space of this rental cabin, and this is not wildlife related, but they have got a serious water leak right now. So I'll have to let the property owner know about this. Okay, let's see if I can hopefully make it over here. Of course, there's typical hole for mice and rats. Yeah. That wall is soaking wet. Not from the leak, because the leak is over there. It's just from condensation here. Get over there. This house has a swimming pool inside, and I guess that's what this whole little area is, so I'm not going to be able to get to the bees from here. I'm going to get up here and find a better picture for the water leak. Right there. I have to get them a plumber in here. All that area right there is gonna mold and mildew. And it's already molding. This has been going on for quite some time. Another reason wildlife control can find you some problems. Now I gotta get all the way back down there. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this thing off so I can concentrate and hopefully I don't go sliding. Hopefully y'all can see this. I got a mama bear and 3 cubs right here while I'm doing this honeybee inspection. Just another day in Smoky Mountains. Bears are going right through there. They might be, 60 yards from me right now. They can't smell me. Wind's coming straight up this holler. And if they did, they'd probably ignore me. Hopefully you can see the back of the head right there. Well, coming down the mountain now, I've ran into Mama and her 3 cubs again. adversity that we can encounter in a day's operation. It is right now 20 to 3, and I'm finally getting off the mountains and heading back to the shop, and hopefully be able to call it a day today. You've seen we went through 4 different counties. I have taken care of Blunt, Monroe, and Sevier County. Hunter has taken care of Loudoun County, excluding a groundhog job we've been doing for the last week or so. That was also the one where you've seen the video where we retrieved the 2 dead possums out from under the house. Well, that's the job he's working on. He's been getting more possums and groundhogs out from under it, and he is now confident there's nothing there, and he's sealing it up today. You kind of seen the honeybee call. We didn't really get, we don't know if we've gotten it yet. We've quoted the job. That job is going to be very difficult, to say the least. 30 feet off the ground, dealing with cinder block walls, unstable ground. That house has been built on the side of a mountain. It has got shell rock all around it, so it's very loose. And, well, you equal all of that plus stinging insects. Murphy's Law was just waiting to get us. It's going to reach up and bite us in the butt if we ain't very careful. So we'll have to use ropes, we'll have to build up scaffolding, or some sort of walk boards, ladders, of course, and then all sorts of power equipment, just so we can penetrate that cinder block wall, physically remove the hive, relocating it, and then repairing the walls so no future honeybees or anything else will find it and inhabit it, and paint it to match the rest of the house. That way it looks like we've never been there. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's gave you a little brief insight of what our days are like, especially since it seems like we just take little clips here and there, let you kind of see what it looks like. So appreciate you following along. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. And just so everybody knows, yes, I'm hands-free. The GoPro is actually attached to the truck right now. So anyway, we'll get off here and go home and eat me some vittles. We'll talk to y'all later.